Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are talking about the case on the Well platform, Islamic Republic of Iran versus United States of America, and we'll discuss in the detail about the decision of the court. First, the Islamic Republic of Iran instituted proceeding against the United States of America on 2nd November 1992, respect of the dispute arising out of the drag on and destruction of three offshore oil production complexes owned and operated for commercial purposes by the National Iranian Oil Company by several warships of the United States Navy on 19 October 1987 and 18 April 1988, respectively. Second, in this application, Iran contended that these acts constituted a fundamental breach of various provisions of the Treaty of Amity, economic relation and consular rights between the United States and Iran, which was signed in Tehran on 15 August 1955 and entered into the force on 16 June 1957, as well as of the international law. The application invoked it as a basis for the court's jurisdiction, Article 21, Paragraph 2 of the 1955 Treaty. The United States counter memorial includes a counterclaim concerning Iran's action in the Gulf during 1987 to 1988, which, among other things, involved mining and other acts on U.S. flag or U.S. owned vessels. By an order of 10 March 1998, the court held that this counterclaim was admissible as such and formed part of the proceeding. Now, talking on behalf of the government of Iran. At the hearing of 3rd March 2003 on the claim of Iran, the Islamic Republic of Iran respectfully requests the court, rejecting all contrary claims and submission, to adjust and declare: first, that in attracting and destroying on 19 October 1987 and 18 April 1988 the oil platform referred to in Iran's application, the United States breached its obligation to Iran under Article 10, Paragraph 1 of the Treaty of Amity, and that the United States bears responsibility for the attacks, and 2. That the United States is accordingly under an obligation to make full reparation of Iran for the violation of its international legal obligation and the injury thus caused in a form and amount to be determined by the court at a subsequent stage of the proceeding. The right being reserved to Iran to introduce and present to the court in due course a precise evaluation of the reparation owned by the United States, and number 3, any other remedy the court may deem appropriate at the hearing of 7 March 2003 on the counterclaim of United States. The Islamic Republic of Iran respectfully requests the court, rejecting all the contrary claims and submission, to adjust and declare that the United States counterclaim be dismissed. Now we're going to talk about the viewpoint of the Iran in the court decision. This viewpoint gives the rise to the international responsibility of the United States for breach of the 1955 Treaty of Amity can neither analyze as to their substance nor evaluate it for the legal point of view. If they are not placed in their proper content, if they are not examined as part of the chain between previous and subsequent events. But this indispensable remainder of the content, which in any event has been provided in some detail in the pleading of both parties, it doesn't change the fundamental facts. Iran is asking the court to do no more than rule that the U.S. action against Iran on 19 October 1987 and 18 April 1988 were illegal in the light of the provision of the 1955 treaty, and to determine the consequences of such illegal actions. Furthermore, we're going to talk on behalf of the government of United States. At the hearing of 5 March 2003 on the counterclaim of the United States, the United States respectfully requests that the court adjust and declare: first, that the United States denied the breach its obligation to the Iran under Article 10, Paragraph 1 of the 1955 Treaty between the United States and Iran, and number 2, that the claim of the Islamic Republic of Iran are accordingly dismissed. With respect to its counterclaim, the United States requests that the judge court adjust and declare: first, rejecting all submission to the contrary, that in attacking vessels in the Gulf with mines and missiles, and otherwise engaging in military action that were dangerous and detrimental to commerce and navigation between the territories of United States and Iran. The Islamic Republic of Iran breached its obligation to the United States under Article 10, Paragraph 1 of the 1955 Treaty. And number 2, it further talks about that the Iran is accordingly under an obligation to make full reparation to the United States for its breach of the 1955 treaty in a form and amount to be determined by the court at the subsequent stage of the proceeding. Now, when we go through the conclusion, it has been published in The Hague, 6 November 2003. Today, the International Court of Justice, ICJ, principal judicial organ of United States, delivered its judgment in the case concerning World Platform, Islamic Republic of Iran versus United States of America. In its judgment, which is final, without appeal and binding in the parties, the court finds first by 14 votes to 2 that the action of United States of America against Iranian World Platform on 19 October 1987 and 18 April 1988 cannot be justified as measures necessary to protect the essential security interests of the United States of America under Article 20, Paragraph 1 and D of the 1955 Treaty of Amity. Economic relation and consular right between the United States of America and Iran is interpreted in the light of international law of the use of force, but the court cannot, however, uphold the submission of the Islamic Republic of Iran that those actions constitute a breach of obligation of the United States of America under Article 10, Paragraph 1 of that treaty regarding freedom of commerce between the territories of the parties, and that accordingly the claim of the Islamic Republic of Iran for reparation also cannot be upheld. In regards of the United States counterclaim, the court, after rejecting the objectives to jurisdiction and admissibility raised by Iran, considers whether the incidents attributed by the United States to Iran infringe freedom of the commerce or navigation between the territories of the party is guaranteed by Article 10, Paragraph 1 of the 1955 Treaty. The court finds that none of the ships alleged by the United States to have been damaged by Iranian attacks was engaged in commerce or navigation between the territories of the two states. Nor does the court accept the generic claim by the United States that the action of Iranian had made the Persian Gulf unsafe for shipping, concluding that, according to the evidence before it, there was not at the relevant time an actual impediment to commerce or navigation between the territories of Iran and the United States. The court accordingly rejected the United States counterclaim for reparation. Thank you.